There comes a moment in your life when noise becomes a distraction, when applause becomes a trap, and when opinions become a prison. And in that moment, you must learn the sacred discipline of silence, not the silence that comes from defeat, but the silence that is born from focus, intention, divine preparation. You don't prove people wrong by arguing. You don't rise by announcing your plans. You don't transform your life by broadcasting every step you take. Greatness is not built under the spotlight. It is built in the shadows, in the unseen hours, in the quiet places where no one is clapping for you and no one is watching. Every seed grows underground before it breaks through the surface. Every masterpiece begins behind closed doors before the world ever sees a frame. Every champion trains when the crowd is gone, when the lights are off. The world thinks nothing is happening. Your silence is your preparation ground. It is where your character takes form, where your discipline strengthens, where your vision becomes unshakable. There will be moments when people will underestimate you because they cannot see what you are building. Let them. There will be voices telling you that you're too slow, too quiet, too invisible. Ignore them. You weren't called to impress them. You were called to transform yourself. And transformation takes time. It takes patience. It takes silence. Focus on the work. Focus on the process. Focus on the grind that nobody praises. Because the day is coming when what you've been building in private will be impossible to ignore. The results will speak for you. The growth will speak for you. The strength you gained in the dark will shine in the light. And the same people who doubted you will have no choice but to respect what you've become. So keep moving, keep building, keep working while the room is empty and the world is asleep. Let your success make the announcement. Let your breakthrough make the noise. Let your results echo louder than any speech you could ever give. There is a sacred place in every journey where noise fades and silence takes over. Not the silence that comes from emptiness, the silence that comes from purpose, the silence that teaches, the silence that prepares, the silence that separates the ones who talk about transformation from the ones who truly walk through it. And in that sacred, quiet space, true growth begins. People often confuse visibility with progress. They measure their worth by how many eyes are watching, how many people applaud, how many voices praise the steps they take. But real elevation is rarely born in those conditions. Real elevation happens when no one sees you. No one knows your name, when no one is paying attention, when you are forced to rely not on recognition, but on discipline. When you grow not because someone is cheering, but because you choose to rise anyway. True growth happens in silence because silence removes distractions. It strips away the noise of comparison, the pressure of opinions, the weight of expectation. When you are silent, you can finally hear your own soul. You can hear the whisper of your purpose calling you higher. You can hear the quiet correction that tells you where you've gone wrong. You can hear the direction that the noise of the world try to drown. Silence becomes the mirror that reveals what you must confront. Growth is uncomfortable. People naturally avoid discomfort. They stay busy, stay loud, stay surrounded so they don't have to face themselves. But in silence, you cannot hide. You meet your fears, your insecurities, your unfinished wounds face to face. And it's only by acknowledging them that you begin to heal. Growth requires honesty, and silence is the environment where honesty thrives. In silence, you learn patience. In a world obsessed with speed, silence slows you down long enough to understand that every great thing takes time. You cannot rush identity. You cannot fast forward healing. You cannot microwave purpose. Growth takes seasons, and many of those seasons require you to be hidden. A tree is never rushed by the forest. It grows slowly, quietly, steadily, unseen until it becomes undeniable. And like that tree, you too must learn to trust the timing of your journey. Silence is also where strength is built, not the kind of strength that looks impressive, but the kind that lasts. The strength that is rooted deep within, not shaken by criticism or inflated by praise. When you grow in silence, you develop resilience. You learn to stand without support, to move without validation, to believe without applause. You become internally powered instead of externally motivated. And that kind of strength, stable, quiet, unshakable, is the strength that carries you through life's storms. In silence, you discover your identity. When the voices of others cannot reach you, you begin to hear who you truly are. You stop trying to fit into expectations that never belong to you. You stop performing for people who do not understand your journey. You stop shrinking to match environments you have outgrown. Silence gives you back to yourself. It lets you rebuild your mindset, your confidence, your values, your direction. It lets you create a foundation strong enough to carry the weight of who you are becoming. True growth also happens in silence because silence protects vision. Before a dream is ready to be seen, it must be nurtured. You don't expose a seed to the world before its roots are ready. You keep it planted, hidden, protected, not because it's weak, but because it is developing. The same is true for the visions in your heart. They require silence, not secrecy out of fear, silence out of wisdom. Too many people lose their purpose because they expose it too early to people who were not meant to understand it. Silence guards your destiny while it forms. There are seasons when silence feels lonely, but loneliness is not always a sign of abandonment. Sometimes it is a sign of elevation. When you grow, your environment must change, your circle must shift, your habits must evolve. And often, first step to rising is stepping away from noise, away from negativity, away from distractions disguised as friendships, away from people who prefer the old version of you because it makes them comfortable. Growth requires separation, and silence is the doorway through which that separation happens. But perhaps the most powerful part of growing in silence is this: when you emerge, change is undeniable. Results speak louder than explanation. Transformation speaks louder than justification. When you've done the internal work, challenge you to love enough and care enough, you don't announce anything. You don't need to defend yourself. You don't need to convince people of who you are becoming. Your life becomes the evidence. Your progress becomes the statement. Your strength becomes the proof. People may not notice you while you're growing, but they will not be able to ignore you when you bloom. What was done in silence will shine in the open. What was built in private will stand strong in public. What was nurtured in the dark will thrive in the light. Silence is not your punishment, it is your preparation. It is the quiet classroom where purpose teaches you discipline. It is the hidden gym where strength is forged. It is the unseen garden where seeds break open before they rise. It is the still moment where clarity replaces confusion, where pain transforms into power, where fear gives birth to courage. So don't be discouraged if today feels quiet. Don't feel forgotten if no one is watching. Don't mistake silence for stagnation. Something sacred is forming within you. Something powerful is taking shape. Something new is emerging. And when it's ready, it will speak for itself. Stay committed. Stay focused. Stay patient. Every second you invest in silence is shaping the version of you that the world is not prepared for yet, but soon will be. There is a dangerous trap in today's world: the hunger for attention. People have become addicted to being seen, obsessed with being noticed, desperate for applause even when they haven't earned it. They announce every step they plan to take, broadcast every move they hope to make, chase validation more aggressively than they chase discipline. But real growth, real progress, real success does not come from attention. It comes from discipline, the quiet, consistent, often invisible work that no one claps for. Your grind deserves discipline, not attention. Attention is loud. Discipline is powerful. Attention fades quickly, but discipline builds permanently. Attention may give you a moment, but discipline gives you a lifetime. When you chase attention, you waste your energy trying to prove yourself to others. When you walk in discipline, you invest your energy in becoming the best version of yourself. The truth is, this attention can never replace action. You can talk about your goals for years, but nothing changes until you put your head down and commit to the grind. You can impress people with your words. The world is not moved by what you say, it is moved by what you do. If you want to rise, if you want to break limits, if you want to transform your life, you must value discipline over visibility. Your grind is not for entertainment, it is for elevation. Disciplined people do not need to announce everything. They do not need to show every detail of their journey. They do not need to broadcast their struggles, their steps, or their progress. They understand that results speak a language attention can never imitate. They understand that growth thrives in consistency, not in applause. They understand that what truly matters is not who is watching, but who they are becoming. Discipline is the quiet force that shapes champions. It is the alarm that wakes you before the world. It is the choice to show up even when motivation is gone. Challenge you to love enough and care enough. It is the commitment to keep working when you're tired, when you're frustrated, when you're discouraged, when no one believes in what you're doing. Discipline doesn't care about mood. It cares about purpose. It doesn't rely on emotion. It relies on commitment. It doesn't chase attention. Chases results. When you choose discipline over attention, you protect your energy. You stop living for approval, and you start living for progress. You stop wasting time explaining yourself, and you start using that time to build. You stop seeking validation from others, and you start validating yourself through your actions. Discipline frees you from the pressure of performing for people who don't matter. It allows you to focus on the real work, the inner work, the foundational work, the work that builds character and shapes destiny. Your grind deserves the seriousness that comes from discipline, because not everyone deserves access to your process. People misunderstand, misjudge, misinterpret what they see. They see one chapter and think they know your whole book. They see one moment and assume they understand your entire journey. That's why discipline invites you into privacy. It reminds you that the grind is sacred. It is not meant to be exposed before it is complete. There is strength that comes from being underestimated when you stop chasing attention. You stop caring about who sees you. You let people think what they want. You let them assume you're not doing enough. You let them believe you're quiet because you're idle. What they don't see is the work you're putting in while they're sleeping, the sacrifices you're making while they're distracted, the battles you're fighting when no one knows your name. Discipline gives you the freedom to build without interference. Attention is temporary fuel. Discipline is a long-term engine. Attention can make you feel good, but discipline makes you become great. One makes noise, the other makes progress. One shows off, the other builds foundations. One impresses others, the other transforms you. The world praises attention, but life rewards discipline. The world celebrates visibility, but destiny celebrates consistency. What you build quietly will echo louder than anything you could ever post, share, or announce. The future belongs to those who are willing to be unseen while they grind, unfollowed while they work, unnoticed while they grow. People often mistake silence for stagnation, but silence is the environment where discipline works its magic. Discipline looks like repetition. It looks like practice. It looks like routine. It looks like doing the same thing day after day until it becomes a part of you. It looks boring on the outside. It creates brilliance on the inside. It looks slow, but it produces strength. It looks ordinary, but it creates excellence. Discipline will take you places attention cannot reach. Attention might open a door, but discipline is what keeps you inside the room. Attention might give you an opportunity, but discipline is what allows you to maximize it. Attention might introduce you to the world. Discipline is what makes the world remember your name. You don't need attention to begin. You don't need validation to continue. You don't need applause to stay committed. What you need is discipline, the internal fire that keeps burning even when the world is silent. Internal voice that keeps pushing you even when no one encourages you. The internal strength that carries you when everything inside of you wants to quit. Your grind deserves discipline because discipline honors your purpose. It honors your potential. It honors your future, honors the version of you that you are becoming. Discipline tells you, I'm doing this not for attention, but because I refuse to stay where I am. Discipline tells you, I don't need the world to see me right now. I need to build who I am meant to be. Discipline tells you, let the results speak, the work prove itself, and the day will come, it always comes, when the results will shine through, when the world will look at you and wonder how you did it. When people will praise the success they never saw in the making. When the discipline you practiced in the dark will illuminate your path in the light. When the grind you protected will bloom in ways attention could never produce. So keep your head down. Keep your focus sharp. Keep your intentions pure. Keep your movements disciplined. Don't trade the power of your grind for the cheap rush of visibility. Don't exchange your future for the temporary thrill of attention. Don't let applause distract you from the work that truly matters. Your grind deserves discipline, the kind of discipline that builds, strengthens, and transforms. The kind of discipline that doesn't need to be seen to be effective. The kind of discipline that makes your success undeniable. There are seasons in life when everything grows quiet, when the world around you seems to move forward while your world stands still. When conversations fade, invitations stop, support becomes scarce, and it feels as if life has pressed pause on your destiny. In those moments, it's easy to believe something is wrong. Easy to believe you've been forgotten, abandoned, or overlooked. But silence is not a sign that you're losing. Silence is not a sign that you're stuck. Silence is not a sign that you are going backwards. Silence is a strategy, a divine, intentional, powerful strategy designed to prepare you for what comes next. The world tells you that movement must be loud, success must be public, and progress must be visible. But real transformation rarely follows that pattern. Real transformation is quiet. It is hidden. It is internal long before it becomes external. Silence creates the conditions where growth becomes possible. Silence slows you down long enough to hear what you've been ignoring, confront what you've been avoiding, and strengthen what you've been neglecting. Silence is strategy because silence removes distractions. When the noise is gone, clarity emerges. When the voices stop, direction appears. When the crowd fades, purpose becomes louder. Sometimes the silence in your life is not punishment, it is protection. You have no idea how many things fate has shielded you from simply by pulling you away from noise that was meant to drain you, mislead you, or break you. Silence is the environment where wisdom grows. When you stop responding to everything, you start understanding more. When you stop arguing, you start observing. When you stop explaining yourself to people who cannot comprehend your vision, you reclaim the mental space required to keep growing. Silence teaches you when to act and when to wait. It teaches you what deserves your attention and what doesn't. Teaches you that not every battle is worth fighting and not every comment deserves a reply. Many people mistake silence for weakness. Silence is one of the strongest moves you can make. It is a declaration that your energy is too valuable to waste on noise. It is a sign that your focus is shifting from proving yourself to improving yourself. It is the quiet confidence that says, I don't need to announce what I'm building. The results will do that for me. When you learn to embrace silence, you become dangerous in the best way. Dangerous because you stop giving people access to your plans. Dangerous because you stop seeking validation. Dangerous because you stop allowing fear, doubt, or criticism to influence your direction. Dangerous because your strength becomes rooted in discipline, not applause. Darkness doesn't scare you anymore because you've learned the power of working without being seen. Silence is strategy because silence is where truth reveals itself. In noise, you can hide from yourself. You can drown your anxiety with distraction. You can bury your insecurities under business. You can ignore your healing by staying surrounded. But in silence, everything you've avoided rises to the surface, not to destroy you, but to free you. Growth requires confrontation. Healing requires reflection. Transformation requires stillness. And silence gives you all of these in the most honest, unfiltered way. Silence is also strategy because silence builds character. Character isn't built in applause, it is built when no one is watching. Integrity is tested when you make the right choices with no audience. Resilience is strengthened when you get up again in a season where no one even knows you fell. Discipline is formed when you keep working even though no one is praising your progress. Silence forces you to rely on your inner drive instead of external approval. And while it may feel like silence is slowing you down, it is actually positioning you. Silence shifts you out of noise so you can hear the timing of your destiny. Silence protects you from premature exposure. Silence hides you long enough for your foundation to grow strong. Just like a seed grows underground, unseen, unheard, unnoticed, but never inactive. What looks silent is actually strategic. Roots are forming, strength is building, identity is solidifying. If you were exposed too early, pressure would crush you. The spotlight would overwhelm you. The expectations would distract you. That's why silence is not a setback. It is a setup for strength, for clarity, for vision, for growth, for transformation. Silence is the space where you outgrow the version of yourself that can't go where you're headed. It's the space where you stop being driven by ego and start being led by purpose. It's the space where your priorities shift and your values deepen. It's the space where what once broke you now becomes the reason you rise. Some people will misinterpret your silence. They'll assume you've disappeared because you've failed. They'll think your quiet season means you've given up. Let them think what they want. Silence is not meant to convince anyone. Silence is meant to prepare you. Let people misunderstand you. Their misunderstanding is part of the strategy. The less they know, the less they can interfere. There is a moment that always comes after a season of silence, the moment of emergence. The moment when everything you built in the dark becomes visible in the light. The moment when the strength you develop privately becomes undeniable publicly. The moment when the world finally sees what silence was shaping. Your silence is not empty, it is pregnant. Pregnant with potential, with purpose, possibility. When you emerge, you will not emerge fragile. You will emerge focused. You will not emerge confused. You will emerge clear. You will not emerge desperate. You will emerge grounded. You will not emerge half-built. You will emerge whole. That is what silence does. It crafts a version of you that cannot be shaken. So when life pulls you into a quiet season, don't panic, don't resist. Don't assume you're losing. Instead, lean into it. Use it. Learn from it. Silence might feel like isolation, but it is actually incubation. Silence is where your transformation is being prepared. Silence is where your power is being sharpened. Silence is where your purpose is being refined. Silence is where your future is being sculpted. There is a principle in life that everyone wants to understand, but very few truly accept. Growth is never instant. Success is never immediate. Transformation is never immediate, like the seed that falls into the dark soil. We often forget that the most important work happens where no one can see it, where it is quiet, where it is hidden, where it feels like nothing is happening at all. But this is the truth. Seeds grow underground before they rise. You see, the seed does not demand attention. It does not scream, it does not plead, it does not announce its presence. It quietly absorbs the nutrients from the soil, it quietly pushes its roots deeper, quietly develops its strength. It trusts the process, it trusts the season. And when the time is right, it rises with power, breaking through the surface, reaching for the sun. In life, we must learn to be like that seed. We must learn that the preparation in the unseen moments matters more than the applause in the visible ones. Too often, people become discouraged because they cannot see immediate results. They compare themselves to others whose breakthroughs appear effortless. They wonder why their efforts feel hidden, why their hard work seems unnoticed, and why the world hasn't yet acknowledged their struggle. What they fail to understand is that the most powerful work takes place in the unseen. Growth is cultivated in silence, nurtured in patience, strengthened by consistency. Just as the seed must push against the weight of the soil before it emerges, so too must we endure the weight of our circumstances before we rise. The underground season is not a punishment, it is a preparation. It is where resilience is developed. It is where discipline is formed. It is where character is tested. The seed cannot rise until it has absorbed all that it needs to sustain itself in the sunlight. Likewise, you cannot rise without first equipping yourself with the skills, mindset, and endurance necessary to withstand the challenges that accompany success. The invisible hours, the private sacrifices, the hard work done when no one is watching, all of it is shaping the strength you will need to thrive when the world finally sees you. Will be moments when it feels like nothing is happening. Moments when the soil seems too heavy, when progress seems too slow, when patience feels impossible. Those are the moments that define your future. The seed does not complain when it is underground. It does not demand faster results. It simply continues to grow quietly and steadily. The underground season is a test of your faith, a test of your perseverance, a test of your commitment to the long game. If you can endure in the dark, your emergence will be unstoppable. The truth is that the world often only notices the tip of the iceberg. People see the towering tree, the flourishing flower, the successful individual, but they rarely see the roots, the hidden work, the struggle beneath the surface. Those roots are what give the tree strength, what allow it to withstand storms, drought, and adversity. Without those roots, the visible success would crumble at the first challenge. Likewise, your hidden efforts are the foundation of your future success. You may feel unseen, but every hour, every sacrifice, every moment of discipline is strengthening your roots. Growth underground is also where vision is refined. The seed's trajectory is determined before it even breaks through the soil. The roots anchor it, the stem strengthens it, the inner structure prepares it for the light. In your own life, your underground work is shaping your direction. It is defining your purpose. It is clarifying your identity. It is preparing you for the impact you are destined to make. Do not despise the darkness, for it is shaping you into someone who can rise higher than you ever imagined. There is beauty in hidden growth. There is power in quiet preparation. There is strategy in patience. The seed does not rush the process. It does not force the timing. It absorbs, it adapts, it strengthens. Life's most extraordinary achievements are born the same way. They are not rushed. They are not instant. They are cultivated carefully, with attention to detail, with persistence, with faith. You must honor your own underground season. You must trust that every struggle, every challenge, every lonely hour is setting you up for your rise. When the seed finally breaks the surface, it is unstoppable. What once seemed buried is now thriving. What once seemed unseen is now undeniable. The seed did not worry about being overlooked or underestimated while it was underground. It focused on growing. It focused on strengthening. It focused on becoming what it was always meant to be. And when the season of visibility arrives, it rises with power, confidence, purpose. In your life, you must also rise, but your rise will only be as strong as your underground season. Your resilience will be as deep as the challenges you endured in silence. Your character will be as rooted as the habits you formed when no one was watching. And your success will be as unstoppable as the preparation you invested in yourself while the world was unaware. The underground season is not wasted. It is sacred. It is necessary. It is the birthplace of greatness. Do not rush your rise. Do not resent the waiting. Do not compare your underground season to someone else's visible success. Growth is not a race. Growth is a process. Every seed has its own timeline. Every tree has its own pace. Every flower blooms in its own season. Your purpose will manifest when you are ready and your preparation is complete. Trust the timing, trust the process, trust yourself. The underground season also teaches humility. While hidden, the seed does not boast. It does not compare itself to other seeds. It does not seek recognition, it simply grows. Likewise, when you focus on the quiet work, you learn the value of patience, the importance of resilience, and the strength of faith. You learn that your journey is yours alone. The people who truly matter will only celebrate the results, not the waiting. This humility strengthens your roots, ensuring that when you rise with integrity and purpose. Every struggle, every setback, every challenge you face in your underground season is adding nutrients to your roots. Every failure is strengthening your foundation. Every moment of discipline is increasing your resilience. Every lesson learned in silence is preparing you for visibility. You cannot rise fully formed without enduring the dark. You cannot thrive without having been tested. You cannot achieve lasting success without having built it from the ground up. So embrace the underground season. Value the hidden hours. Respect the preparation. Protect your quiet work. Absorb every lesson. Strengthen every root. Your rise is coming. Your breakthrough is near. Your transformation is inevitable. The seed grows underground before it rises, and so will you. The darkness is temporary. The preparation is necessary. The patience is strategic, and the emergence will be spectacular. Remember this, the world may not see you while you grow. People may doubt you, underestimate you, or forget you. But the universe is not silent. Life is not silent. God is not silent. Your destiny is not silent. What is hidden now is being prepared to rise stronger, taller, and more powerful than anyone expected. The underground season is not a setback. It is a launch pad. It is not a delay. It is a design. It is not a weakness. It is a strategy. When you finally emerge, you will rise with unstoppable force. Grow quietly, strengthen in the darkness, build the roots that cannot be shaken. Trust your timing, respect the process, and when the world finally sees you, they will witness not just your rise, but the power of preparation, perseverance that made it inevitable. In life, there is a common misconception that our value is measured by the approval of others. We have been conditioned to think that progress is real only when it is noticed, that achievement is meaningful only when it is celebrated, and that success is only valid when it earns applause. But the truth is far more powerful. You don't need anyone to see what you're building. You didn't care enough. You don't need anyone to praise your efforts, and you don't need anyone to understand your journey in order for your progress to matter. Progress is real, growth is real, and transformation is real, whether the world notices it or not. The problem is that many people stop working when the applause isn't there. They abandon their goals when no one notices the sacrifices they make. They doubt their worth when nobody cheers them on. But life does not work that way. Life rewards persistence, discipline, and integrity long before it hands out recognition. Progress is something you measure within yourself, not something that is measured by the applause of others. The truth is, applause is fleeting, and validation from the world is temporary. What endures is the work you put in, the growth you achieve, and the person you become along the way. Real progress often happens quietly in the unseen hours, while the world is distracted, while the crowd is looking elsewhere, while everyone else is focused on what is flashy or popular. You are working in the shadows. You are building habits, refining skills, strengthening your character, and fortifying your mind. This is the kind of work that shapes lasting results, but it does not come with immediate recognition. And that is exactly why it is so powerful. Progress that does not need applause is the progress that lasts. Think about the seed. It grows underground for weeks, sometimes months, without anyone noticing. No one cheers for it. No one acknowledges its quiet struggle beneath the soil, yet the seed continues to grow. It develops roots, it strengthens, and when it finally emerges, it is strong enough to withstand storms and harsh winds. Your progress is like that seed. The quiet work you do today, the late nights, the early mornings, the sacrifices, the discipline is building the roots that will hold you steady when your breakthrough arrives. And when it does, the applause may come. It will not define you. You don't need applause because you have to learn to validate yourself. Self-validation is a skill, a mindset, and a discipline. It is the understanding that your progress is yours to claim, yours to measure, and yours to celebrate. You don't need someone else to tell you that your work is worthy. You don't need someone else to notice your growth. You don't need someone else to cheer you on, to feel proud of yourself. Self-validation allows you to keep moving even when the world is silent. Self-validation keeps you focused when the crowd is distracted. Self-validation keeps you disciplined when external recognition is absent. The journey of progress is not always glamorous. It is often filled with moments of doubt, periods of isolation, and seasons where it feels like you are invisible. But those seasons are essential. They teach resilience, patience, and humility. They train you to trust the process, not the applause. They train you to work for results, not for recognition. The people who succeed long-term are not the ones who chase applause. They are the ones who pursue growth with unwavering commitment, regardless of who is watching. One of the greatest challenges in life is resisting the temptation to seek approval for every small step you take. It is natural to desire recognition, to want people to see your progress, and to want encouragement. But when you tie your self-worth to the reactions of others, you surrender your power. You allow external voices to dictate your momentum. You give control of your confidence to those who may not even understand your vision. True progress requires independence from approval. True progress requires you to keep moving forward, even when the world is quiet. Every hour you spend learning, every skill you develop, every goal you chase, every challenge you overcome is progress, regardless of applause, every act of discipline, every choice to rise above distraction. Every commitment to stay the course is progress, whether it is noticed or not. The work you do privately shapes the results you will show publicly. When the results finally manifest, they will speak louder than any applause ever could. There is a lesson in patience that only silence can teach. for applause is a trap. Waiting for validation is a trap. Waiting for recognition can stall your momentum and delay your success. People who are truly successful do not wait for approval. They create their own momentum. They understand that real progress is measured internally, not externally. They measure their success by growth, by resilience, by consistency, and by the impact they are preparing to make. When you stop seeking applause, you gain focus. When you stop chasing recognition, you gain clarity. When you stop needing validation from others, you gain freedom. You are free to experiment, free to make mistakes, free to learn, free to grow, and free to follow your vision without interference. Silence and self-validation allow you to cultivate an inner power that cannot be shaken by the opinions of others. Your progress becomes unstoppable because it is not dependent on anyone's perception. It is rooted in purpose, discipline, and commitment. Progress without applause is not lonely. It is strategic. It is intentional. It is deliberate. It is preparation for the moment when you will rise, when you will shine, when your results will demand attention. And when that moment comes, applause is no longer necessary because your impact will speak for itself. The world will notice not because you demanded attention, because the quality of your work cannot be ignored. Remember this, your worth is not determined by recognition. Your success is not determined by applause. Your growth is not determined by who notices. You don't need anyone else to validate your progress. You only need yourself. You only need your discipline, your vision, and your commitment. You only need your belief in what you are building and who you are becoming and in the life you are creating. Path to lasting success is paved with silent progress. The most powerful transformations are invisible until the moment of revelation. The greatest achievements are built in private and unveiled at the perfect time. The people who achieve them are not seeking applause. They are seeking mastery, fulfillment, and impact. So embrace the quiet moments. Celebrate your own milestones. Honor the work you do when no one is watching. Measure your success by how far you have come, not by who notices it. Trust that every effort, every sacrifice, and every late night is creating the foundation for a future that is unstoppable. And know this, when the time comes, your progress will speak for itself and the results will be undeniable. In life, people will always have something to say. Opinions will flood your path like wind against a wall. People will judge your choices, question your methods, and doubt your abilities. They will try to tell you what you can and cannot do, what is possible and impossible, what you deserve and what you don't. They will speak loudly, with confidence, and sometimes with malice. But the truth you must understand is this: opinions are noise and results are proof. Others think of you does not define you. What you create, what you build, and what you achieve, that is the real measure of your life. Noise is everywhere. It comes from friends, from family, from coworkers, from strangers. It comes from social media, from society, from the pressure to conform. Noise comes in the form of skepticism, in the form of criticism, in the form of unsolicited advice. It is relentless, persistent, and often confusing. It tries to shake your confidence. It tries to divert your focus. It tries to convince you that your path is wrong, that your effort is futile, that your vision is impossible. And if you allow yourself to be swayed by noise, you will never move forward. You will never fulfill your potential. You will never reach the destiny that has been waiting for you. But results do not lie. Results are proof. Results are the language of effort, discipline, perseverance. While opinions can be misleading, inconsistent, and biased, results are objective. They are the evidence that your work is real, that your sacrifices are paying off, and that your vision is unfolding. Results are tangible. They cannot be argued against indefinitely. They cannot be dismissed by negativity or disbelief. They are undeniable markers of progress, of growth, and of achievement. Many people spend too much time listening to the noise. They allow opinions to shape their self-worth, to dictate their choices, and to delay their dreams. They worry about what people will think if they fail. They hesitate to take risks because someone might disapprove. They measure their progress by the approval of others rather than by the results they are producing. This is a trap. Opinions are fleeting, are often uninformed. They are not your compass. They are not your standard. They are not your destiny. Only results have that power. Results require action. They require persistence when people doubt you. They require focus when the world is loud. They require courage when others criticize or mock your vision. While opinions are reactive, results are proactive. Opinions are commentary, results are creation. Opinions can discourage, delay, or distract, but results confirm. Results are the proof that you did not quit. Results are the proof that you overcame challenges. Results are the proof that your vision was worth pursuing. History is full of examples of people who ignored opinions and focused on results. They were mocked, underestimated. They were told that their ideas would never work. Yet they persevered and worked quietly, consistently, and relentlessly. And eventually, their results silenced the noise. They did not respond to every critic. They did not try to convince everyone of their worth. They simply produced results that spoke for themselves. Their achievements became undeniable. Their impact became visible. Their success became proof that opinions are irrelevant in the face of action. The truth is that noise is temporary. Opinions fade. Criticism diminishes over time. People forget what they said, but results endure. Results are remembered. Results are celebrated. Results create influence, opportunity, and legacy. They are tangible evidence that someone faced challenges, embraced discipline, and followed through when it would have been easier to quit. While the world may try to drown you in opinions, your results will always rise above the noise if you remain committed. Results are not always immediate. There will be times when you work tirelessly and the world still doubts you. There will be moments when critics are louder than your achievements. This is why patience and consistency are essential. Keep building, keep creating, keep grinding. Let the accumulation of effort become your proof. Results compound over time, and eventually they become undeniable. One breakthrough, one success, one achievement done consistently can silence the loudest critics. Another truth is that focusing on results keeps your energy aligned with purpose. When you chase opinions, you are constantly reacting, constantly adjusting, constantly trying to please others. This drains your energy, scatters your focus, delays your progress. When you focus on results, you are proactive, intentional, and empowered. You are acting according to your own vision, your own plan, your own standards. You are living with discipline and purpose, and the results will eventually reflect the integrity of your effort. Noise will always exist. People will always have opinions. Some opinions may be constructive and some may be destructive, but none are necessary for you to move forward. Let opinions be what they are, background noise. Let results be your focus. Let your effort, your consistency, your perseverance be louder than any criticism or doubt. Let your achievements speak louder than any conversation or debate. Let your life become proof that results are more powerful than opinions. The key is to act, not react. Work, don't argue. Build, don't defend. Focus, don't compare. The world will always have something to say about your journey, but if your results are consistent and undeniable, you don't need validation. You don't need approval. You don't need applause. Your progress will confirm itself. Your achievements will speak for you. Your life will become a testimony that action always outweighs commentary, and proof will always overpower opinion. Remember this, opinions are cheap. They are easy. They cost nothing to give. They can be contradictory, misguided, or uninformed. But results are expensive. They require effort, sacrifice, patience, and discipline. Results demand investment, commitment, and action. If you want to rise above the noise, focus on what produces proof, what produces commentary. Focus on what builds, not what critiques. Focus on what endures, not what fades. When people look back at your life, they will not remember the opinions that tried to stop you. They will remember the results you created, the impact you made, and the legacy you built. Your work, your discipline, your results, that is what matters. That is what lasts. That is what validates your journey. That is what proves your vision was real. So, stop listening to every voice that questions your path. Stop worrying about whether others understand your vision. Stop letting critics slow you down. Let your results be the proof. Let your life be the evidence. Let your achievements speak louder than opinions ever could. Because At the end of the day, noise fades, but results endure. Confidence is celebrated in our world. People admire those who appear bold, assertive, and self-assured. Confidence is loud, flashy, and often the first thing others notice. But confidence alone is not enough. Confidence without action, confidence without follow-through, confidence without discipline is like a firework, bright, momentary, and quickly forgotten. True greatness, true progress, true impact comes not from how confident you appear, but from how consistent you are. Consistency is louder than confidence. Consistency speaks in results, while confidence only speaks in words. Many people mistake confidence for capability. They think that showing up, talking boldly, believing in themselves in front of others is the key to success. While confidence is valuable, it is fleeting and unreliable. Confidence can be shaken by failure, criticism, or fear. It can be inflated by praise or recognition. It depends on circumstances, moods, and validation. Consistency, on the other hand, is steady, dependable, and unshakable. Consistency doesn't rely on feelings. It relies on commitment. Consistency doesn't wait for motivation. It creates momentum. Consistency builds long-term results, while confidence often fades the moment challenges appear. Consistency is action repeated over time, no matter the circumstances. It is the discipline to keep going when confidence is low, when motivation is absent, when no one is watching. It is the persistence to rise even after setbacks, failures, and disappointments. Consistency does not get distracted by opinions, fear, or temporary obstacles. It doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It doesn't pause for applause. It continues quietly, diligently, and relentlessly. This is why consistency is far more powerful than confidence. Confidence can talk, but consistency delivers. Think about mastery in any field. Whether it is athletics, art, business, or personal growth, the people who excel are not always the most confident in the room. They are the ones who show up repeatedly, who put in the work daily, who endure the grind even when it feels monotonous. Confidence might get someone noticed initially, but consistency ensures they stay relevant, they improve, and they dominate over time. Confidence may start the race, but consistency wins it. Consistency develops skill, builds character, and forms discipline. Confidence can make you feel like you're capable, but consistency proves it. Confidence can tell people what you intend to do. Consistency shows them what you've done. Confidence can inspire, but consistency transforms. Confidence may get applause for a moment. Consistency earns respect, influence, and legacy that lasts. Results, growth, and achievement are never accidental. They are produced through steady, consistent effort. The truth is that consistency is often boring, repetitive, and unglamorous. It does not get the spotlight. It does not attract attention. It does not create viral moments. But while everyone is chasing the flash of confidence, the consistent worker is quietly building the foundation of excellence. While others seek recognition, the consistent person seeks mastery. While the world is distracted by loud displays of bravado, consistency is creating results that cannot be ignored. And when the breakthrough comes, it is unstoppable because it has been built day by day, brick, by habit. Consistency is louder than confidence because it cannot be questioned. Anyone can claim they are confident. No one can deny the results produced by consistent action. Results are evidence, proof, and testimony of the effort invested. Confident person may talk about success, but a consistent person has already achieved it. Consistency is like a drumbeat, steady, unwavering, impossible to ignore over time. Confidence may echo, but consistency resonates. Another reason consistency is louder than confidence is that it builds trust in yourself and trust from others. Confidence may impress initially. Trust is earned through repeated action. People notice who shows up. People notice who follows through. People notice who delivers time and time again. Consistency creates reliability. It builds credibility. It forms a reputation that cannot be faked. Confidence can be shallow, fleeting, and performative. Consistency is deep, lasting, and undeniable. Confidence can vanish in the face of criticism or setbacks. But consistent action allows you to overcome failure from mistakes and keep moving forward. Every consistent effort compounds. Every repeated attempt strengthens skill, resilience, and strategy. The consistent person does not give up because they rely on a routine, a system, and discipline that outlasts temporary emotions. Confidence may fade, but consistency never abandons the work. Moreover, consistency transforms potential into achievement. Potential is like a seed. It has the capacity to grow. Growth requires repetition, care, and nurturing. Confidence might plant the seed, but consistency waters it, nourishes it, and ensures it reaches maturity. Confidence is the intention, but consistency is the execution. Confidence may make a promise, but consistency keeps it. Confidence might inspire hope. Consistency delivers results. Consistency requires humility. It requires the ability to keep working even when no one is applauding, even when no one notices, even when progress feels slow. Confidence seeks validation. Consistency finds satisfaction in the work itself. Confidence asks, am I good enough? Consistency answers, I will show up anyway. Confidence is a feeling. Consistency is a habit. Confidence may falter. Consistency persists. In every area of life, from career to health, relationships to personal development, consistency outperforms confidence. It outlasts hype. It survives challenges. It overcomes doubt. Confidence can motivate you for a day, a week, or even a moment, but consistency carries you for a lifetime. It ensures that your effort builds momentum, that your growth compounds, and that your results multiply. So if you want to achieve greatness, don't rely solely on confidence. Don't wait until you feel ready or inspired. Don't chase applause, admiration, or external validation. Instead, commit to showing up daily, consistently, relentlessly. Let your actions speak louder than your words. Let your habits speak louder than your feelings. Let your results speak louder than your confidence. Confidence may open doors, but consistency will keep them open. Consistency is quiet, patient, and persistent. Confidence is loud, flashy, and often fleeting. One may draw attention, the other commands respect. One may make promises, the other delivers proof. The one who is consistent eventually becomes unstoppable. Their work cannot be ignored. Their results cannot be disputed. Their growth cannot be denied. Confidence may start a story, but consistency writes the legacy. Remember this, the world is full of confident people who never achieve. The world is full of people who talk, who boast, who appear ready, but never follow through. The world is transformed by the ones who keep going day after day, even when it feels repetitive, even when the applause never comes, even when the spotlight never shines. Consistency turns dreams into reality, struggles into strength, and potential into greatness. In life, there is a seductive illusion, the idea that the spotlight defines success. People see the applause, the recognition, the accolades, and they assume that visibility is the measure of greatness. They think that being seen, being praised, being celebrated is what makes someone successful. But this is a dangerous misconception. The truth is far more profound. The process shapes you more than the spotlight ever will. The spotlight is temporary. The spotlight is shallow. The spotlight does not prepare you for challenges, failures, or growth. The process, the unseen, unglamorous daily work is what transforms you, strengthens you, equips you to sustain success. When the spotlight fades, the process is the hidden foundation of every triumph. While the world focuses on the end result, you must focus on the daily grind, the habits, the repetitions, the incremental progress that no one notices. It is in these unseen moments that character is forged, resilience is developed, and excellence is built. The spotlight may shine briefly, but it cannot give you the stamina to endure. It cannot teach you patience, discipline, or humility. Only the process can do that. Many people chase the spotlight without respecting the process. They want recognition before they have put in the work. They want applause before they have mastered the craft. They want validation before they have earned it. They dream of the stage without knowing what it takes to prepare for the performance. This is why so many people falter when they reach visibility. They are not ready because they skipped the process. They are not grounded because they did not endure the unseen work that shapes strength, skill, and wisdom. The process is deliberate. It is consistent. It is repetitive. It does not seek attention or validation. It asks only for commitment. The process is the quiet early mornings when no one else is awake. The process is the late nights when no one is watching. The process is the patience to keep showing up when progress feels invisible. The process is learning to trust that every small action compounds into results. It is slow, steady, and invisible, but it is what transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. Spotlight can inflate the ego. It can make someone feel powerful before they're prepared. It can give the illusion of mastery without the reality of skill. Many have been carried by praise only to stumble when challenges arise. But the process humbles you. The process teaches you that nothing is guaranteed. The process tests your patience, endurance, and dedication. The process does not care about your emotions, your pride, or your public image. It simply demands effort, consistency, and growth. Process also develops resilience. Life is not always fair, and success is rarely immediate. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and disappointments. There will be moments when the world does not notice, when people doubt you, when the applause never comes. If you rely on the spotlight for strength, you will crumble in these moments. But if you rely on the process, you will persevere, you will adapt, you will overcome. The process gives you the tools to endure storms that visibility cannot prepare you for. It builds a foundation so strong that when the spotlight finally arrives, you are ready to carry it with grace, strength, and purpose. The process is also where mastery is formed. The world sees the finished product, the polished performance, the successful outcome, but it rarely sees the hours, the failures, the mistakes, the repetition, relentless pursuit of improvement that led there. Mastery is not born overnight. It is cultivated over years of deliberate effort. It is shaped by consistency, practice, and commitment to excellence, often in silence and obscurity. The spotlight can highlight success, but it cannot create it. Only the process does. Another critical aspect of the process is the growth it produces in your character. The spotlight may celebrate your talent or your achievement, but it cannot teach humility, patience, or discipline. The process does. The process challenges you to become better than your excuses, stronger than your fears, and wiser than your doubts. It teaches you that success is not just what you achieve, but who you become while achieving it. It molds your mindset, shapes your identity, builds the inner strength required to sustain your victories. The process also protects you from being defined by temporary recognition. Fame, praise, success in the spotlight is fleeting. Public attention can be fickle. People can admire today and forget tomorrow. But what you build in the process, your skills, your discipline, your resilience, your character, cannot be taken away. The process creates results that endure long after the applause fades. It equips you with the ability to keep performing even when no one is watching. That is the true hallmark of lasting success. It is important to remember that the spotlight is a result, not a prerequisite. The spotlight should never be your motivation. It should be your byproduct. When your process is consistent, purposeful, and relentless, the spotlight comes naturally as recognition of the excellence you have cultivated over time. If you chase the spotlight first, you will likely be unprepared when it arrives. If you honor the process, you will shine brightly when it does, and your light will last far longer than those who chase visibility without preparation. The process is also deeply personal. It is your journey, your growth, your transformation. The spotlight may compare you to others, judge your timing, or measure you by temporary standards. The process ignores all that. The process is intimate, designed specifically for you and tailored to your potential. It honors your rhythm, your challenges, and your pace. It is a sacred space where you build the strength, skill, and character necessary to rise above mediocrity and achieve greatness. When you focus on the process rather than the spotlight, you develop patience and discipline. You learn to find satisfaction in growth itself, not in the recognition it brings. You learn to embrace the journey, knowing that every effort, every repetition, every small improvement is shaping your future. You learn that the journey is as important as the destination, and that the true value of success lies in the preparation that precedes it. The spotlight may celebrate talent, but the process cultivates excellence. The spotlight may reward charisma, but the process builds competence. The spotlight may attract admiration, but the process earns respect. If you commit to the process, you will achieve results that are undeniable, impact that is sustainable, and growth that is lasting. And when the spotlight arrives, you will stand tall, not because it made you, because the process shaped you into someone capable of handling it. So embrace the process, honor the unseen work, trust the daily effort, the small wins, the repetition, and the discipline that no one else sees. Protect your growth in private and allow your results to speak in public. Process, mold your skills, character, and resilience. Let the spotlight be a reflection of the excellence you have built in silence. Remember this: what the world sees is only the surface. What truly shapes you, strengthens you, and prepares you for greatness is the process. In life, many people feel the need to explain themselves, to justify their efforts, to convince others of their worth, and to defend their choices. They speak loudly, argue passionately, and seek validation from anyone who will listen. They try to persuade the world that their dreams are worthy, that their journey is important, and that their vision will succeed. But here is the truth: you don't need to argue. You don't need to explain. You don't need approval. Let your success speak for you. Results are louder than words, and achievement is the most powerful form of communication. Too often, people try to impress others with talk rather than action. They boast about what they intend to do, what they plan to achieve, and how capable they are. They seek recognition for their effort before it produces results. But words alone are cheap. Words can be forgotten, ignored, or challenged. Anyone can talk, few follow through. Success, however, is undeniable. Success commands attention. Success earns respect. Success communicates in a language that cannot be argued with, debated, or dismissed. Let your results be the proof of your commitment, your discipline, and your talent. Letting your success speak for you requires patience, humility, and perseverance. It requires the discipline to keep working even when no one is watching. It requires the strength to ignore criticism, doubt, and negativity while you focus on building something meaningful. It requires faith in your vision and confidence in your effort, even when the world is silent or skeptical. Those who understand this principle understand that life is not a competition of who talks the loudest. A test of who works the hardest, stays consistent, and ultimately produces undeniable results. Beauty of letting your success speak is that it silences the noise. Criticism, doubt, and skepticism are temporary. Opinions fade. World may question your ability, your worth, or your vision, but results are eternal. When your success arrives, it eliminates the need for explanations, arguments, or justifications. Your achievements communicate clearly. You worked, you persisted, and you overcame. Your success becomes your voice, and its impact resonates far beyond what words could ever achieve. Many people struggle with the temptation to announce their journey prematurely. They feel the need to explain how hard they are working, how many challenges they face, and how much effort they are putting in. They believe that visibility will earn them respect, understanding, or admiration. But this is a trap. Recognition before achievement is often fleeting and superficial. True respect comes from results. True credibility comes from action. True validation comes from what you accomplish, not what you claim to be working toward. When your success arrives, it will speak louder than any speech, post, conversation ever could. Letting your success speak also requires resilience. Life will challenge you. People will doubt you. Circumstances may seem impossible. Opportunities may appear limited. And yet, every setback, every obstacle, every moment of struggle is part of your preparation. Every step you take in silence, every effort that goes unnoticed, and every sacrifice you make quietly strengthens the foundation for your breakthrough. Your success arrives. It will not just be a moment of victory. It will be a testament to your resilience, perseverance, and unwavering commitment. Success speaks with clarity. Success communicates authenticity. It communicates confidence, discipline, and focus without needing explanations. When you achieve results, people cannot question your ability. They cannot deny your effort. They cannot undermine your vision. Success commands respect without demanding it. It validates your journey without requiring defense. It confirms your worth without needing permission. This is why letting your success speak is one of the most powerful strategies for personal growth and influence. It allows your achievements to do the talking while you continue to focus on creating even more. Another benefit of letting your success speak for you is that it inspires others. People are drawn to results more than they are drawn to promises. People respect action more than words. People are motivated by what is tangible, visible, and undeniable. When your success speaks, It encourages others to work harder, push further, and believe in themselves. Your results become a beacon of possibility, a living proof that dedication, discipline, and perseverance produce transformative outcomes. While words can inspire momentarily, success leaves a lasting impact. Letting your success speak also fosters humility. When you focus on action rather than recognition, you avoid the trap of ego-driven behavior. You learn to appreciate the process, embrace patience, and respect the journey. You no longer chase applause, validation, or external approval. Instead, you channel your energy into what truly matters, building your skills, strengthening your character, and creating results that are undeniable. Humility allows your work to shine without unnecessary fanfare, and it ensures that when your success arrives, it commands respect naturally. Artificial embellishment. Success speaking for you also reduces stress and frustration. When you stop worrying about what others think, when you stop seeking approval, and when you stop explaining yourself constantly, you regain your energy and focus. You redirect your effort from convincing people to creating impact. You stop wasting time on noise, and you start investing fully in action. This clarity of purpose allows you to grow faster, achieve more, and maintain peace of mind. Knowing that the results of your work will eventually prove your worth, finally letting your success speak, is a strategic choice. The world is full of noise, opinions, and distractions. Not everyone will understand your vision. Not everyone will support your journey. Not everyone will celebrate your progress. And that is okay. You don't need them to validate you. You don't need them to recognize your effort. You only need to keep showing up, putting in the work, and focusing on the results. Over time, those results will speak louder than any conversation ever could. They will earn recognition, respect, influence naturally and effortlessly. So embrace the principle of letting your success speak for you. Work diligently, persist relentlessly, focus on results rather than recognition. Celebrate your wins quietly, acknowledge your progress internally. Trust that the proof of your effort will manifest in time. Stop trying to justify your journey. Stop arguing with doubt. Stop explaining your vision to those who cannot comprehend it. Let your actions, your achievements, and your results communicate everything that needs to be said. People may underestimate you today. They may doubt you, criticize you, or ignore your efforts. But your success will arrive, and when it does, it will say more than words ever could. Your results will speak with clarity, authority, and undeniable power. Your achievements will confirm your vision, validate your work, and command respect naturally. The world will take notice, not because you demanded it, because your success leaves no room for argument.